Especially don't need my husband to get sick. That's even worse.
Or because he'll continue working. And then he'll be down.
We could put our names around.
I think so.
What if I sit behind the podium?
Yes.
Do you think it'll find me?
Wear a hat.
Is that why you're wearing a hat?
Okay, we're gonna call the January 2nd work session to order for the Clatsop County Fair Board. First on the agenda is committee meetings and the fair planning schedule.
Yeah.
I just like to state for the record, I'm 47.5. I need large print.
I can't read that.
Oh, I cannot either.
I was like, even with my glasses on, that was fine. Even less.
So really the main reason why I put this on there was because it did have, you know, the names of who was on which spot.
Okay.
We just needed something to attach to it here. But yes, so you know, we've been trying to work on some of the stuff that we can do in the meantime, but to the point now where we've got to get these committees rolling. We've had 3 people apply to be on the committees also. I talked with 2 of them. And they both seem like they could be pretty good help. The one gal, I'm trying to remember her name right now, Rebecca. She's a teacher in Pacific County and she wants to be part, like, she said she's got alpacas, she likes the exhibits and the entertainment and all of that. She had some good ideas for like the open class type things. I told her, you know, we'd get her hooked up with Katrina once it starts. So we were talking about stuff like, you know, like a sheer to shawl type thing. She goes, oh, I love that idea. I have alpacas. I know a lady that has a spinning wheel. The next day she called me. She's like, I talked to that lady. She's really interested in it.
Yeah.
And so she's got her mind going, hitting the ground running. The other one is a fellow Marcus from Seaside. He's in a 4-H club and he owns a cookie bakery in Seaside. He had said he wanted to be a vendor also, so,
Ice cream sandwiches.
he had some good ideas. And so figuring out where we want to plug those folks on this list. You know, one side, it's like, yeah, it would be good to have vendors on the vendor committee, but on the other side, it's like, do you want the vendors making their own rules also? But if they're providing input. I
Well, they're
think
not
that's
making the
important
rules, they're
to
just
have
providing,
input.
we're making the rules with
Right.
yeah.
Yeah. And so if you guys have times that we can get some meetings kicked off and going.
Yeah.
Concert committee, I'll just kind of go through them one by one. Concert committee, those things I think are gonna go pretty quickly because they are what they are once we get the band. Eric hasn't gotten back to me since before Christmas. I called him and texted him today. He hasn't responded. I know that there's a conference in California this week, so he had asked me if I was going to it before and said no, but I'm assuming he is, so he's probably traveling or getting ready to travel. But hopefully we hear back soon. Advertising and marketing, this is one where I think kicking that off and really coming up with a schedule of what we, you know, and building some deadlines, and we know that we need to get some, you know, advertising materials with its flyers and you know, do all that stuff once we get it kicked off.
Okay.
You know, our stuff that goes along with our themes and figuring out where we're gonna be marketing and advertising with. The vendor and sponsorship one. You know, we've been working on like a vendor handbook. But, you know, we need to kind of go over it. It's in a draft form. But once we get that kicked off and go, I think talking with some of the entertainment and some of the services that we've been looking into already, they're gonna need sponsorships. So we need to sit down and figure out what do our sponsorships package looks like. If it's more than just the concert, like, do we want to hire, I called that one guy, the Christensen guy.
Oh, yeah.
He hasn't called me back, but I looked at his website and, he's basically a rental company, and so there's other companies that rent them. I was able to get a quote from one other company, but it's expensive. It's like 30 grand to get like 2 or 3 rides.
Yeah.
For the week, and they're small.
Yeah, that's what it sounded like little kid rides type stuff.
Yeah, but you know, if we could get a sponsorship or something for those, like it's identifying what it is that we're going to do that we want to be getting sponsorships for. And then,
But for the carnival stuff, would we charge tickets?
depending on what we do, but we probably should if it's gonna cost us 30 grand.
Yeah, I think we could provide more if we, even a wristband, you know,
Yeah.
Yes, so that's where we gotta kind of get the gear going on what are we asking for sponsorships for? Security, I've been working on an RFP, but we need to dial in that specifically. What are we looking for? Like, first, it's event staff, it's gates. It's also like consulting on the safety plan. But then added on to that, it could be the e-ticketing, it could be the concert stuff. And so trying to tell them for sure, but I have that to where it's pretty close. It could go out. But we need to look at it before we send it out. Open class, I need to call Katrina. Volunteers. Yeah, that one is probably the least pressing, but we'll need to be coming up with a schedule on that one also.
Yeah.
And then the non-music entertainment, again, I've been working on some of that with the reoccurring things, but,
I told Kelly I'll do that one with her,
okay.
and that way we can group that one. We can try to meet that and the advertising at the same days.
I know Callie told me on Tuesdays and Mondays and Tuesdays work well for her.
Tuesdays are probably better for me.
Okay. So I will send you both a email tomorrow for sometime on Tuesday to
What
get
works
together.
best for you to meet?
Probably the same, probably those Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Anything after that, it's no bueno.
Okay, Monday or Tuesdays are fine.
Okay.
Okay. What time do you get off work? Or do you-
It varies. Usually I'm out of there by 4.
Okay. We'll just piggyback after them, depending on what time they come in.
Yeah.
We'll just worry about it.
Okay. Maybe, maybe this next Tuesday, I'll meet with Sarah and Callie, and then the following Tuesday, I'll meet with the two of you and we'll go from there and be rolling.
Yeah.
And then
What time do you
we'll
think?
Come up with
Yeah, what
something.
time?
What works well for you? Next Tuesday I'm open, but usually the second Tuesday of the month I have a water board meeting, and that's at 6. So
6 p.m.?
anytime before 6, yeah.
Oh,
Anytime before then is good.
I'm available all day.
does that work?
Is 3 okay?
3's fine.
So you're doing 3 on the 9th for you guys, right?
Yep.
Or 1 hour?
Be a good start, yeah, let's say kicking it off, trying to find more people to get involved, come up with the schedule. And then scheduling our next meetings.
So then do you want to meet with Matt and I on the 16th? Is that when you were thinking? The next Tuesday? The following Tuesday?
Yeah, and then hopefully by then we know for sure who the band's gonna be.
Yeah, right.
And
Yeah,
then
we
in the
need to get that
meantime,
out.
I'll send you both the draft of what I've got for that RFP.
Okay. What time, Matt, do you think you want to meet on the 16th?
We just do 4:30.
4:30?
That
Does
works
that
for
work?
you?
Yeah. It's fine.
Mallory, can you hear me?
Yep.
Mallory?
Mom, can you hear me? Mom, can you guys hear me?
My volume really far down or something.
I- Can you hear me?
Let's try this. How about now, Mallory? Are you saying anything?
Yeah, can you hear me?
At the speaker on the projector.
What
Can you
days?
hear me okay?
Can hear you now. What
Okay.
days? Of you?
Tuesdays are probably gonna work for me. I know Mondays and Fridays right now are a little insane. Actually, really, any day is insane right now, but Tuesdays and Thursdays will probably work the best.
Can we meet at 4 next Tuesday, Mallory? And I will just stay 2 hours and then Mallory can come in at 4. Does that work for you next Tuesday at 4?
Yeah, that should be fine.
Okay.
Great, I think with that, we'll be able to kick off and get moving. I mean, we've been doing some work, but. You know, at the same time, we've been kind of holding back a little too, waiting like to not go down a path that we didn't need to go on. You know, one of my concerns, I'm not concerned yet, about the fair. I mean, it's still 8 months away, but feel like our opportunity to have gotten ahead is kind of past
Slipping.
us and,
Well, and the
Now we're-
further we go without knowing our artists too, it's
yeah.
putting us back in the same position we were in last year. So I think if we can all meet and get our game plan in place, and then when we find out who the artist is, we can, at least the advertising part and the sponsorship part can start rocking and rolling there.
For sure, yep.
Hey, Mal,
Yep.
do you want to be on the volunteer committee with me? Are you just on
Yeah.
one?
I think so, because I originally was doing some of the concert stuff, but with only having 2 on there, then yeah, I think I'm only on 1. Guys,
Okay. Do you want to do some volunteer stuff with me?
yeah, I can do that.
Okay.
Okay.
Maybe.
Say that one of the first things we'll do when we meet is think about some other people that we want to reach out to try to get on these with us. And then we can talk about these folks that have applied already, see how they'll fit in the best with each of these groups.
Okay. Mallory, do you have any questions?
Nope, that sounds good.
So one of the things that we've been working on, when I say we, I can really put a lot of the credit on Kristen. She's been working on these task lists of like, you know, key deadlines and stuff. And it's even like some stuff we've already done, like their debrief and, you know, and then our planning kickoff meeting and getting the contract for the talent buying, kind of plugging those things in particular months. Not only like kind of thinking about the future, but like as we're getting stuff done through this fair planning process, like, okay, this is when we got it done. Maybe we should have got it done here.
That's
Plug it
okay.
in, but-
Yep,
So that we've got this roadmap going
That's
forward.
good.
Oh, that's cool.
Great job.
yeah.
So
Yeah.
is that what you're talking about, the fair planning schedule, or is that something else?
Yeah, I think that's definitely, you know, one of the important things we need to get dialed in, like if we're gonna have deadlines coming up, then we definitely need to know, like, we've got to be hitting the volunteers hard by this date, like, we
Yeah.
need to get the vendor application out by whichever date, which soon, really, the vendor application needs to go out soon. Do some of those key things. The two that I'm most concerned about after the artist is the security and the stage, because those are gonna be the ones that they're gonna be booked. Like, if
Yeah.
we don't get them booked, we could lose an opportunity to get the security staff we want or a stage for a decent price.
Can we start booking the stage now? Why do we have to wait for the artist? Like, we just got the minimum, you know, of what,
Yeah, when I talk with Eric, if I can get in touch with him tomorrow, that was one of the things I was gonna ask him, like. I know it's probably tough to say this is the stage we're going to get, but I think we've gotten pretty much the same stage every
Mhm.
year. But at least getting the quotes and getting it.
somewhat
Even if
dialed
it's
in.
quotes for 2 different types of stages or
Yeah.
something, so that we've got the numbers, as soon as we know, we can pull the trigger on
Yeah.
and the stuff.
Okay, so the theme is Forest to the Farm.
Yeah, so, you know, this was what I had on that sheet specifically, and I just wanted to make sure that this was exactly what you guys wanted to see, or if you don't want the last part or the first part. But then also from that, talking about what your vision kind of is for the theme. I know Sandra was asking, what's the colors? So, well, I mean, I don't know. It seems like forestry, browns and greens. Go ahead.
So what's the difference between sustainable logging and just logging now? Because everything has to be sustainable these days.
You know, this was just, I
It's
popped
a
in
tag
some
word.
stuff on the
Yeah.
internet, searching
It's a
up
tag word.
things.
Yeah.
And it popped out a big long list.
Can
I
we
didn't
just
type it.
leave that part out? The sustainable?
Yeah.
And I'm only saying this because we have some really great timber people in this community, but they're very
Oh.
very old school. And That's where
But
we'll
I-
scare them.
But I also think we have to educate people that farming and agriculture has
It's
always been,
naturally sustainable.
it's always been sustainable.
Yeah,
We just have now made it popular to be like, oh, look, I'm sustainable. We've always been sustainable.
well, that they, I mean, without it. There
Yeah.
is no,
Right.
yeah,
I think
No words.
that, two things. One is that there's such a large, that's a big part of our industry in this, our agriculture in this area. It's really gonna turn on for a lot of our potential sponsors. We have a lot of opportunity for that, but also as we're going through this HCP stuff, like, look, it is important to us.
Yeah.
We're hitting it everywhere.
This is totally off base, but I'm wondering if we could have at least one day where we could have some big equipment come in so kids can see like
So,
we have a tractor whose tire is, like you can't jump to the top of it.
yeah, I
you
was
know?
thinking the same
Or
thing.
like-
It'd be really cool to have, because we've got all these old, like Skagits and T-Bird big tube yarders that are just sitting these days because there's no use for them. I
Yeah.
thought it would be super
bring
cool
in
to have them.
beautiful, brand new sparkling ones.
No,
Come on.
I think we could have both.
because they don't make those massive things anymore.
Yeah, they do. 980 loaders?
No, I'm talking about.
No, I know what
I'm
you're
talking about,
saying.
Yeah.
But I'm saying.
But
like,
maybe we could get a couple
beautiful,
companies
cool things
To
too.
bring in some cool stuff where people can be like, I had no idea that,
Well, you don't. And when
You
you see it on the TV, it's not anything what it looks like on the TV, right? It's,
Yeah, I think it'd be good.
it's amazing.
So this kind of connects to we gotta get our show on the road, out
Yeah.
where stuff's gonna go.
In case this helps, see other companies will bring their stuff in and then assign. So that, there's your phone number. so
Yeah.
Kind of a, both of that too, but if it's a company. bringing it in.
we used to bring tractors in
Yeah,
and they get
every
broke every time. Like, Jeremy, like, kids climb on me, even if you have a thing.
Of course.
So it
yeah.
probably would have to be something where they're like,
Roped
you can
off.
look, but don't climb on this kind of thing.
Look, but don't touch.
Yeah,
So what I kind of had in mind is I'd really like just the section thing over there, like, as if we had to come, like us to try to find some games and activities and stuff to go with. There's gonna be leftover space. That would be the perfect spot we get with that. Put out there, kind of fill in that area.
I was just thinking, did you see our lit up log truck?
Yeah.
It's party. How cool would that look, back here for this, in this specific theme? I mean, it's like the wheels are moving in the whole nine, like it's pretty cool.
For me, I think, back to the question of no changes at all. I would make pretty good with just erasing that and the way these industries support one another.
Yeah.
I think it's gonna be kind
Hard.
of difficult to capture that.
Yeah.
As like displaying it.
Don't want too much in coming.
Yeah. Forced function, right?
I think we could just stop where it says Clatsop County.
Yeah, because then we're not just focusing on the chipper.
Explore the interconnectedness of forestry and
Yes.
agriculture.
Yep.
We get something to sponsor our side stage, pay for the stage, and sound, stuff like that. For all the ideas that have.
Yeah.
And if it's some rides that we can't afford to bring in, maybe.
I bet there would be some people that would need to help.
Yeah,
with that.
but was
Yeah.
axe throwing, log rolling.
You'll know where to find me if there's actual.
Like this, the hot sauce. Those types of things, you gotta find some people. Yeah. I say yes, it'll be able to come up with time.
Napa School District has a forestry team. And I tried a couple times to get them to come, but it's not during school. But maybe if we just ask again. Do we have who's in charge of it? Forestry teacher?
You don't know.
It's a mister.
I'll ask Shandy. Put her on it.
So, yeah, I think there's a lot of people that want to hear the things over, we've got to be meeting more than every 30 days and coming up
Yeah.
with these plans and saying, okay, we're gonna call them. Okay, that one's not worked out, we gotta come up with a second one.
Yeah.
And just kind of, we're dogging it here for the next those 6 or 8 weeks and get this thing done.
Okay, let's move on to the MOU before we run.
Real quick, Mallory's having a hard time hearing you and understanding you, so you need to speak up, Kyle.
Okay, I'll try to speak a little louder. I really don't have much new on the MOU. I gave you guys the printed copies of it last week. At this point, if you have anything else that you want to comment about it, I don't have anything to add to it yet.
Okay.
But I think separating it.
Okay.
And then I know the association had asked if, I would come to the last meeting. I wasn't available to come to the last meeting. But I'll go to the next one. About the clubhouse. I do know that, association asked about bingo night, moving it out here. What's the company that happened about? That's part of the MOU.
Oh, to add it in there?
Are they gonna do bingo here instead of the Elks?
Instead of either of them, they wanna do one here instead of two.
Okay.
Hey, there's a lot of little things, and looking back at all the history, it's kind of like a big web of figuring out how we got to where we are now.
Yeah.
Which it would have almost been easier to just clean slate.
Yeah.
Started from the
For sure.
beginning and moved on.
Yep.
Yeah.
Anything else? Okay, the work session is adjourned. We will reconvene in 3 minutes. We are going to start the January 2nd, Clatsop County Fair Board regular meeting. All board members present. And we are going to start with the agenda approvals. The agenda is on the back of it's a back, front and back.
I make a motion to approve the agenda for the January 2nd, 2024 Fair Board meeting.
Anyone like to second?
I second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carried. We are going to move on to public comment. At this time, anyone wishing to address the Fair Board concerning items of interest not already on the agenda may do so. The person addressing the Fair Board will, when recognized, give their name and address for the record. All remarks will be addressed to the whole Fair Board and limited to 3 minutes per person. Fair Board members reserve the right to delay any action if required until such a time when they are fully informed and the matter is scheduled as an agenda item. And then everybody looks down. No? Then we're gonna move on to consideration of past minutes. We have November 13th OPA debrief and fair planning kickoff, as well as the December 5th work session and regular meeting.
I make a motion to approve the minutes for the November 13th OFA debrief and fair planning kickoff and the December 5th work session and regular meeting minutes.
Second that.
All in favor? All opposed? Motion carried. Board member reports. Report on any items you're working on behalf of the board.
Nothing at this time.
Nothing at this time.
Nothing at this time.
Mallory?
Nothing here either.
Okay. Me either.
Next month we'll have some reports.
Yeah.
Yeah, next month we'll have committee reports. We're moving on to the manager's report, starting with the wishing tree.
Yeah.
Talk loud.
Yeah, so the list of things here, the wishing tree, I think they were pretty successful. They took the place up quite a few days, they had a lot of stuff, they had a pretty efficient system. She said for about 415 children and their families got gifts and food, and then another 25 adults received food baskets. I think it's important for us to acknowledge that that's happened. We let them use the place for free. We, use that as this is something we're doing for the community. It's important to talk about what what actually happened from that. So I think that's pretty cool. I don't know what what it's been in the past, but like to keep track of that thing moving forward. They're gonna wanna come back in again, and I think, you know, it's another opportunity for us to acknowledge, you know, all of the good that it's done. There was a New Year's party in here on Sunday. I think they had a good time. It was seemed
No
fine
complaints?
enough after us, no complaints. I have heard that our neighbor that was the complainer has moved,
Oh,
but I can't confirm that or not, but I just heard that they have moved.
Okay,
And I haven't received the complaint since that first month I started
Yeah.
there.
okay.
They had a good time. They set up a bounce house over there. They had a stage set up. They had some games set up in the corner here. They basically opened it up to anybody that knew about it. They come in and go. If they want to do something like that again in the future, I think we would really push advertising it a little bit more to try to get even more of the public to know about it.
is it like a non-alcohol event?
No, it was an alcohol event.
It was an alcohol event. Okay, just wondering.
Yeah, I mean, I wasn't here, but it felt like there was. Like I said, I didn't receive any complaints, so that's good. It's the same group that wants to do the Haypro. And so when they were here checking in, we walked through the arena and dialed in on a date and talked about just kind of initially what they would need for setup. Basically, the section in front of the bleacher, they would set up a pin. And then have like some dance floor next to the ring, and then they'd set a band up somewhere, probably along the back wall. And then outside the roll-up door, they'll have to set up some kind of corral, and they'll bring the bulls in and out through that roll-up door over there.
Cool.
So they'll have several bulls, but then they'll also bring in 3 or 4 horses, and the horses can dance apparently.
Cool.
Yes, they dress them up. So
Do
that'll
we
be
have a
cool.
date for that?
Tentatively for March 30th, I think, that Easter weekend on Saturday. This month, we've got the chamber banquet and the natural resources dinner. And then before the next meeting in February, it'll be Super Saturday 4-H. So you guys will be out here before the next meeting doing that, right? So maybe you need to start meet. Yeah, let's talk about that.
Have New Life contacted yet?
They have not. They called about something. I think he just wanted to rent for a personal event.
Hmm.
And I asked him,
Yeah.
and he said, you know, we haven't talked about it. I said, well,
Time of the
we're
essence.
booking stuff.
Yeah, yeah, for
We've
sure.
got some other things booked that weekend already, so, but if they want to do a Sunday programming here, it's still open on Sunday.
Okay, okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Good.
There's an area meeting with the Region 1 OFA on the 22nd at the Lincoln County Fairgrounds. I'm the vice chair of the area. I reached out to Heather, who's the chair, last week. She got back to me today and said, let's chat tomorrow. I'll help her plan whatever she needs. It's talking to the other fairgrounds or whatever to kick it off. So I'll know more about that tomorrow. It doesn't help us now. Committees, we talked about all of this earlier, and we gotta get it going. We've got those 3 people. Be great to get 10 people. The chamber meetings, Kristen and I both kind of either together or separately been trying to attend as many of these community groups and associations that we're part of. We've gone to a couple of the chambers coffees and after hours. I'm trying to think what else there was. There's a downtown historic society next week, another chamber one next week. Something else that we discovered over the weekend, there's a wedding, just trade show.
Yeah.
At Seaside, like in 2 weeks.
Yeah.
So we're reaching out to them, possibility, maybe put a booth up there or at least drop some info off.
Yeah.
At the very least, figure out so we can be involved in the future.
Yeah.
I think there's a wedding thing at the Red Building
Yeah, they're usually.
every year too.
Mhm.
It'd be great if we could do one here, you know, but I don't know.
I think the Red Building puts it on because they hold a lot of weddings, but it would be sweet to do too. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
Right. The board applicants, that should be next Wednesdays. commission meeting that they'll appoint them. So we'll know by then. I think the following meeting for us, we should do our board and chair appointments and votes, go from there on that. Maintenance on the roof and drainage, tents, basement. So the roof, we climbed up there to figure out, we were having that huge puddle here. We climbed up and the trim on the edge had been like peeled back. So we put some sealant and some screws down and that leak's gone away. And then the leak in the concession stand, there was a vent pipe that was completely failed. So we just pulled it off, went down and put a new one on there. It hasn't leaked again yet, but it hasn't leaked anywhere else since then. So I don't know if that's just, we haven't had a bad enough rain event.
Had a strong rain, yeah, so.
You know, we do still want to do the whole, when I climbed up there, I'm looking at it, the metal looks good. Like, I find it hard to believe that we would need to, but something's wrong with lots of transition and little pieces everywhere. So that was the first time I had been up there myself. Drainage, we've been dealing with beavers. Fighting them, and when the tide, it's just been terrible. We need to, let's speak up. Speed it up.
No, speak up.
Gotcha. The tide's been terrible during the workday when we're here, it's just hasn't been cooperative. Yeah, week before Christmas, we were able to get some done, but there hasn't been the opportunity to go back and see if they'd come back, it's in the pipe. If the water's high on both sides, you can't see anything until the tide goes out. And then the mower, Bill's been mowing every time he gets a free chance. You notice the levee down below has been mowed pretty well. We mowed the levee on the other side pretty good. Just been chipping away that as it can. We pulled out all of the tents that were in the area barn in the roof. There was 3 tents up there. But there's none of the connecting pieces for the tent frame. Oh, they're all, I don't know where they're at. Well, maybe they're in with the storage stuff in those crates. But there's lots of holes and there's the tent fabric, there's none of the connecting pieces.
Protect more,
Right? Well, they got
Yeah.
tired of setting it up for days.
Can you
So,
get just those pieces?
Can, but it might be cheaper to buy a whole kit.
A brand new one.
And the tent covers, the big one wasn't in great shape. It's old, but it's gonna brittle. It can be, probably be good for us. Maybe for them, if I kind of trust it for the rain events.
Yeah.
And then there's another smaller one that had. That's the there. And then the basement, cleaned a bunch of the stuff out of the basement in the office there. They put all the files up and put them in the shop. And then thrown the trash away. An old furnace and some old equipment down there that we've been putting out. The system there look pretty good. It's coming together. That's the files and archives. And as we've had time, we chipped around a little bit at a time. Without getting too far down into the rabbit hole. And found some of the newspaper articles. About events that have been at the fair. Time stuff. You know, talking about the fair attendance in the past and. A whole bunch of boxes of little. Frank photos. It's pretty cool. At some point, we'd like to. That kind of goes, scan some of the things and. Having probably pictures of that, guys and those. Yeah, so there's things that we need to work on that. We've been working on in our time that we'll need to get you guys at some point. Rates, you know, this kind of goes with the same conversation later. We need to get a clean rate sheet that shows specifically. We've got this dog group that wants to come in and they want to do a show, but they want Florida. Hours. How much we charge? How much? Have the tent. Which would encourage somebody to all that. It's hard for us to say what we're losing or missing when we leave. We started with last year. Putting down a whole list of all of the paid events and all of the non-paid events. Tried to make some assumptions on how much these non-paid events. Yeah. I don't think that sheet's perfect yet, but once we show. It ties into that rate. It's like, we don't even really know what the rate would be. So you get there.
Have like
guesstimate of what you guys want to do for your rates?
I think it starts with looking at other similar
Okay.
facilities. There's some fixed costs that we have to say, our power bills. This, all that. But I think being competitive is important to you. I think so. So I think it starts with looking at what else is there in the county and what else is there similar to what we have
So
in the region.
what can we do to help you with that?
I think on the front side, nothing. I think once I get the comparison down, then that's where it's on you to say, this is what we're going to do.
Okay,
So,
we're ready.
Then we get those numbers.
Okay.
And that's what our job is to find all that. Just look at it. I've got the security RFP started, the roofing RFP, I've got very little on it, but she reached out, she's just checking in. Hey, how you doing? I said, coming along. I said, I think we got lots of time, but thanks for checking in. Arena signs, we have to get those out, the new fees for the arena signs. It's been a year. We've been putting that together and trying to use the Eventany to track it, the event planning software. But that goes on with the rate sheet. Our rate for that's been $200 for a long time. I don't think this year, maybe we don't want to do it, but that's something to put in the rate sheet, say.
Everybody
should
would be
we
prepared for it
increasing our-
this year,
Right, like, that's cheap.
because
for
everything is
advertising.
increasing this year,
Um,
everything. So I mean, I don't think people would be surprised if it was.
I think even with, like at Astoria High School, if you have one in there, I think it's almost $500 a year.
Yeah.
To have that board in there, and it's not as big as what's in here.
Yeah.
And do you provide your own board for that or did?
Mhm.
Yeah,
Yeah, so that's
Because
something
we
to
need
look
to
at.
indicate that too, if they have to provide their own board.
Yeah. And I know Seaside, I can't remember what Seaside's is, but Seaside and Astoria, I mean,
We
you
pay $1,000 for the board at Napa.
I mean,
Yeah.
yeah, so it depends. I mean, so for 200, that's
it's pretty dang good.
pretty inexpensive.
I think there's a lot more businesses that would put up signs if they knew about the option.
And how much it is, yeah.
And, you know, there could be different things, like, do you want your sign, a larger sign over the door, or in a particular spot, we could maybe charge more for those, but there's a lot more wall space in there than what we've used in the past, we could definitely sell a
Speaking
heck of
as,
a lot more signs.
For like a company that actually has a sign up there.
Yeah.
If I was to receive a bill this year for at least a $50 increase on that, I would not be shocked and I would not be turned away from it.
Right,
So, I mean,
But I think too, that if you're gonna put that bill in, that you need to also say next year it is going to be
Yeah,
increasing
and
again.
more.
You know what I mean? Like.
we're just trying to catch up
Yeah.
essentially.
it ties in with that rate analysis,
Yeah.
the other fairgrounds are doing it also, what are you guys charging for an arena sign
Yeah,
sponsorship, and knowing if
So
we're
when
way
is
off
your
base.
goal to have these like invoices out or?
If they're ready to go like today, I mean, we could send them out as early as tomorrow.
You gonna send them out at 200 or are you gonna increase it?
Well, if you guys wanna tell me that we can increase it, then I will increase it, that's easy enough to do.
So in there, I know, like say Vogue Electric, there's a couple that are huge. So that one's strictly, they're all 200 no matter what size.
They pay this like prorated for the size of the one sign, so if
Okay.
it's a double sign, they're paying 400.
Okay.
And I think that's.
okay.
Okay.
That's, several of them pay the full.
I think we have 2 signs up in there.
You have 2 signs, I think you only pay for one, but I think there was confusion when you sent your new sign.
We didn't send it. That was one John did. He didn't ask for artwork, nothing. It was. Well, I mean,
Must.
I'm just stating that we did, I mean, our phone number's not even on it. It's weird.
Right,
So, but it is what it is.
okay, we get that straightened out. That was some of the stuff that we would want to put on the reapplication, like getting it more clear that this is what you signed up for. You know, we have those bricks too, like there's a room for a lot more bricks out there, and I don't know what happened with that program, why it stopped, but.
The bricks, they stopped for a while, like, not last year, the year before in the fair, I had found, there was checks for bricks,
Yeah,
but we ended up sending that money back and canceling those because they hadn't been taken care of and we didn't
And they've
know.
been in the safe a long time.
For,
yeah,
over almost a year. And so we just got rid of the checks
Yeah,
and stuff, so.
but it's still a thing and there's still a whole area there that's ready and prepped for the bricks to go.
Yeah.
But that's another fundraising thing.
Do we want to make a decision on, do we want to raise the prices for the boards in there?
Want to make a motion, that's your business.
And I make a motion to raise the sign in the arena fee up by $50 per board for 2024 with notice of possible more increases next year.
I second that.
All in favor? Or Mal, do you have any questions?
Nope, that sounds good.
All in favor? Aye. All opposed? Motion carried.
And I just have a couple more things that I wrote after writing this. We did a first aid training, so we're up to date on our first aid and CPR here. The rough stock guy had to postpone. He said some personal things in his life. He said he still wants to do the dates in the spring, but I haven't been able to connect with him to schedule other dates. The fairs and the festivals and events conference at the end of February. I can pass this around to you. They still don't have their full flyer, but that's kind of what their agenda is. Said even if you were able to pop in and check out the trade show, I think it would be worth it to see.
Where is it again?
It's at the convention center in Cincinnati. We're working on that schedule, like I mentioned earlier, to kind of have the full fair timeline. With, you know, task lists and priorities. Yeah, that's my report.
Any questions for that?
Thank you for all the updates.
Mallory, do you have any questions?
Nope.
Okay, then we're gonna move on to the business agenda. We have Lauren Matthews from the Scandinavian Festival here to do a presentation and a discussion.
Yeah,
Yeah, I'm sorry, I'm having a hard time hearing all you're saying, because I don't know the best here, the acoustics in here aren't great.
yeah,
So, but anyway, I'm here just to kind of go over, you know, we're one of your major renters during the year. And I've talked to Kyle quite a bit, and he said you wanted to look at what the rates were and where we were and all. I just want to kind of go there, I went back to my records, Kyle and Kirsten have gone through their records. And, not a lot of things have changed over the last few years, so I wanted to take that into consideration when you're looking at it. Because we have three things that we've had in the past. We've had, way back when we first came out here, we were just paying flat rate. And then we were paying half the parking. Plus we, they went to park for IV, and we had a lot more before, but the last couple of years. But I just collect that money on the rates you charge normally and pass it through. I just say to staff here the trouble of dealing with that. The money all goes to the fairground. And so then we went to, also then having a thing for a good number of years that we were paying 50 cents per, originally it had set out to make it 50 cents per attendee. And we don't have a count on the attendees. We know how many badges or in the last few years, how many, wristbands were sold. So we were paying 50 cents on every one of those. So, since the pandemic, we have not been paying that. I was kind of surprised to find out from John before he left that nobody else had ever paid it. I mean, they came up with they were gonna charge everybody that, we've been paying on it, which was fine, it was in a rate, you know, so it was fine there. And we've been running like anywhere from $7,000 to $8,000 total payments out of all those categories. Depending what, how good our year was and all this and that. So that's it. But the other thing that has changed too, with the old rates before the pandemic, I should say maybe a year or so before the pandemic, they were putting up when they came in, they were putting up all the curtains, you know, throughout. They were handling the garbage, they were handling the restrooms. when we were here. And of course, that's no small task. The last 2 or 3 years, just because of the turmoil out here, you know, the 1 year, everybody had been on your staff left 2 weeks before we were gonna have our festival, so we were pretty much on our own to get everything put together. And, we had, lucky enough, we have some people that have some skills that are part of our festival. We got by, last year with the change here with Kyle and Skeleton, and they're great, but again, we, crew that came out here, I'm not so much me anymore, I can't do that much physically, but, the crew that came out here pretty much did their own thing, and putting up the curtains. Tearing them down when we get through is not a problem for us, because when we close down on Sunday afternoon, we've got all the people that are out here, and it's like a bunch of ants out here, but I always laugh when we get through at 4 o'clock, a little earlier last year. We get through at 4 o'clock, by 7 o'clock, everything's put away in storage where we're at, and we all go have Chinese food. So, we're tired of the Scandinavian stuff, we just go Chinese. But, anyway, that's kind of where we're at, so I'm really looking forward to, if I'm the one that kind of keeps track, I'm not the treasurer, but I'm keeping track of all the things, I'm sort of the liaison. They've had me set up to handle everything pretty much out here, although other people get involved later. But I'm the one working with Kyle and trying to figure out, okay, what's the contract gonna be and where are we? So I guess 3 things, well, that's what we need to know is, 1, what is the rate going to be? Secondly, what are we gonna get for that rate? You know, if we're gonna have to provide the restrooms and the setup, and I guess the third thing is just, you know, tear it down. What do you expect of us, and what do we expect of the crew out here? So, that's where we're at. I think you're making an effort to try to pull this together. You've been in turmoil for about 3 years.
Yeah.
It's true.
Yeah. So, I mean, as far as us trying to figure out what was gonna go on, it's been a little bit of a turmoil.
What is your gate fee?
Our gate fee is, I think it's going to be, I think it's $10 for the whole weekend.
$10 for the week.
So,
Is that per person?
Per person. And we have, I think of our children under 16 is all gonna be, we haven't really set the rate for this year, but it's been $3
For the whole
For
weekend?
the
or-
weekend?
the whole weekend. Our thing is different than I work with the, chamber a lot of crab and seafood. We have a whole different thing that we're trying to do.
Yeah.
We started out, we're not trying to make a lot of money, you know, to do something, you know, it's one of their fundraisers for the year.
Yeah,
We're doing okay, but our whole philosophy is we're just trying to make enough to keep going and promote heritage for our whole goal.
yeah.
And so, a whole different philosophy on it, so we're trying to keep the rates down so families can come in and enjoy the whole thing, so. You know, if we have a lot of them come out here for the whole weekend, if we charge them every time they came through the door. We would lose them, yeah, but with, and the booth fees, I look at the booth fees at the, Crab and Seafood Festival charges them were a lot less than that. So we're only charging like $10 a foot, and we do charge for electricity in addition too. And we've been able to do up to now with help in the past from somebody who was an electrician or in the last few years, Wadsworth, but we're pretty much doing our own electrical work out here. Because of the new thing, when we started out, we did not have all those panels out there, and that was a real plus, you know. Because before we were digging, you know, trenches to try to put the lines down, and that turned into something, because one year we were digging the ditch and managed to get a water line over there.
Yeah.
well,
The good thing I had a brother-in-law that was a plumber, and I got here real quick.
And we put the floor down, right?
we put the floor
Yeah,
down,
we
yeah.
put the
So
floor
this year, we intend to leave the floor down from Craft Fest through Scandinavia.
Okay,
So we're not taking it down and pulling it up, but hopefully we can find some more events in
Yeah.
between. That's one of our goals.
the dog show.
I
That
say the
they
dog
want to
show.
be in the fall. It's potential that maybe next year they would do it earlier in the year, but they don't think they can put the show on in that amount of time. Something I consider is some other type of entertainment, either another bazaar or something, if we get that in there, but maybe we could do like a smaller concert in there. We've got a separate $30,000 non-fair entertainment
That'd be cool.
deal.
That'd be fun.
Those are times for a different conversation for.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So asking Lauren to come in, which I appreciate you coming in, Lauren, it leads to what he hinted at here with the turmoil here. I'm asking the questions that nobody has the answers, right? And it's, we really knew what the heck happened before, so having you come in and talk to the fair board and to us about what's happening, lets them now know, how things have been going, and I think that's where we're at right now, is just like this discovery, like, how did we get to where we are? And looking at our rates as a whole, like, we want people to be treated fairly, we want you to be treated the same as any of the other groups or any of the other groups that want to come in, and so having these conversations and discussions has been helpful in getting that whole picture together.
I fully realize, you've got to make enough money to help pay for the whole thing too.
Yeah.
That's, I've been with the festival for most of the 55 years they've existed, so I am pretty much involved with all the different people, all the way from getting home, through everybody, so. And they've all been good to work with. I've never had any problem working with any of them. Just that, due to your circumstances, either they leave or you let them go or whatever. It's been a little bit of a challenge, over a few years, what's going on. But other than that, I don't know if you have any questions I can answer, I'd be happy to do so, but we're just in a position now, wanting to really find out as soon as possible what the contract will be.
Okay.
And what they're laying out or whatever it's going to be. Because the other thing that used to be, we're giving you 50% of the parking fees. And at one time, also you had the people mover, and they pretty much the crew out here was running the people mover, or at least making arrangements to get it run. Like we're now, besides last year, having to hire people to do the restroom and help out with some of the tables. We also we're having to hire a school district, but the last 2 years to bring handicap people up from the parking. So we have a lot of duty out here.
I'd say on our side, I don't think we have enough information to like have a add-on and an a la carte type of fee to go off of. We say it's $2,000 per day for the arena. But, there's only 2.5 event days, and there's a bunch of setup days. That's the whole picture. Like, if we have setup days, how much would that be? It's the full day, adding services on trash and all of those. It'd be easier to look at all of the events across the whole spectrum like that, but I mean, I think what we've had with them, since the beginning of the time is fine for us. I don't think we're hurting or losing, but I think hopefully by this time next year, we know what our rate fees and everything should look like, and we've got a better idea.
Lauren, I just want to thank you for coming. I think that what we're trying to do is a lot of discovery
Yeah.
to make sure that we know the same thing that you know,
Okay, and I appreciate it.
right? And we want to make sure that we know all the information for all the clubs that have come in, and because we're trying to make things more seamless for everybody. With that being said, I think we should leave as is for this year until we can really capture the costs and the hours and the man hours, because that's what we've done for the other,
It'd be consistent.
it needs to be consistent on what we have provided for the swap meet, the Christmas people and things like that. But I definitely think we need to iron out who's gonna clean the bathrooms and who's gonna set up the tables and stuff.
Right.
And the curtains and
And the
yeah.
curtains, which I think Kyle and
And
Kristen are capable of doing.
for the most part, like, you know, if it's during the regular work day, work week, you know, Kelly's out here and we're all out here and we'll do whatever while we're here. It's the overtime and the weekend time. that it's like,
Yeah,
how do we deal with that?
Off hours for you.
Yeah.
And I'm okay with that, we just need to know, I can tell you, a little story, 2 years ago, when we decided we had to have somebody for the restaurant. We had a real fuss, I got a call and a lady who had been picked up for a DUI, wanted to come out and serve time at the festival.
Yeah.
So she was cleaning the restaurant, and it didn't cost us anything. You know,
Yeah.
but last year we didn't have anybody on the hook for a DUI.
I'll have to find somebody this year, huh?
There's some.
So we did hire a crew, you know. It's all right, you know, through the workforce place downtown.
Temps agency or something?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah,
There's,
A little bit.
yeah,
and there's another factor in this whole thing too, because we run on support from our community and this is an event that's our community.
yeah.
yeah,
And your group provides a lot of support for the fairgrounds, just, you know, when they go to vote every year.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And so that's an important thing too. It's not like this is a group of people that are coming from out of town. These are people that have paid taxes in this
Yeah.
community also. So how do you put all of those together and figure out what that value is as well?
yeah.
But if you don't mind, if you wanna, I'll look for the file, personally, just, and make sure, you know, we get it down, at least get maybe something in writing if you want, or what's being provided, and
I think,
I'm okay with it.
and then getting something from you after each festival too, and putting that in there, you can let us know what your head counts and all of that attendance was so that we can track it.
And what worked for you and what didn't?
One of the things was the head count, but we do have a problem on, you know, the, travel seafood, especially, they know exactly how many people come through the door, if they are terrified. We just know how many bands we sell, you know, a lot of those people come out here all 3 days, some may show up for only 1 day, so, comparing, I know, I think that maybe, the chamber is down, saying that, you know, some of the estimates they had before were maybe a little higher than what they thought. But they were running, you know, 15 to 20,000 people, and we're probably selling wristbands, we're selling somewhere 3,500 to 4,000 of those, you know. So, like people come all 3 days, we're just saying our head count is probably around 7,000, you know, if you want to count the heads coming through the door.
Uh-huh.
That's a guess.
yeah.
It's like the chamber's gone from where they were paying about 19,000 back in 2007. And they're paying 22,000 now, 21,000 now. So they've gone up a little and you guys have stayed pretty much the same, but it's all right in there. But yeah, this is a similar conversation with the chamber too. Like, how did we get here with the chamber as well?
Yeah. Do we need a vote for you to?
I don't think so. I think I think we're on the same page. I think you captured pretty well. It's about discovering, trying to understand, and also, you know, making sure that the groups know what's going on with each other, because you're a big part of us sitting and.
Well, I'll just go with that. I can work with, Kyle has my number if he wants anything, but we try to coordinate so that, we're not, you know, we have set up for a week before that, you know, as long as they're not having anything out in the, arena, you know, like, we can get out there and do all our electrical work, set up the panels and everything else. The other thing I might mention to you too is we are storing a lot of our bigger stuff up above the barn there too. Whether you know that or not, but
Yeah.
Yeah.
Year round.
do service, and so we put it up there after the festival. We do for more intricate stuff and stuff we want to have more handy. We do have a storage unit down in Warrenton, we keep a lot of that.
Is our concession stand open during this?
Last year, we didn't have a concessions vendor. I'm not sure what's happened in the past. Have we had our concessions running before?
I don't remember.
Sure, it's like-
Yeah.
No,
I don't think so.
we're doing we do our own stuff.
Yeah.
And then do you use our kitchen?
Yes,
Yeah, okay.
very heavily. We have, we've had two different groups. We've had the almond grains doing our Friday night. And we've had a Scandinavian cafe, catering business out of Vancouver, Washington. They've been with us for a good number of years, and they did the Saturday morning breakfast, Saturday evening dinner, and then Sunday breakfast. This year, all the grain has decided they are not going to do the Friday night, so they're also Scandinavian cafe is also going to be doing that. And the other area we use is, we haven't been using it up, but we use it up there for beer garden for a few years, but we've now come back down just using the barn up there for the beer garden. And then we were using that for a few years for a church service. We moved that church service back down here now. And so we're just using that. And it's been, the Shanghai story of the last few years. The one thing I do try to make sure of is that when we're doing it, and that any booths that are having alcohol, and we only had one booth down here that serves alcohol openly, the rest of them, we got one other that sells it by the bottle. So I make sure that we're getting, you named it as third party, and us named it as a third party on their liability, liquor liability. That's a big issue. So I try to make sure that that's taken care of.
Yeah.
So.
I'd also like to extend the invitation for each of the lodges to have a day serving your delicious food at the fair.
So wait,
You could serve your food at the fair. Like
okay.
every lodge could have a day.
I would
We could have
love that.
lefse,
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
all the good stuff. You could have a booth and
well, I would like to say that to do that, each of them are about up to here with the staff that they have. I mean, if you look at these lodges, I have to tell you, I'm now 85. And about 10 years ago, when I joined the Southern Norway Lodge, the lady looked at me and said, "Gee, we're glad to see some of you young folk coming in." So that's where they're at.
Yeah.
okay.
Thank you so much for coming.
Any questions for Lauren?
No. Nope.
Nope. Okay,
Thank you so much.
thank you,
Lauren.
We'll be in touch.
See you very
Good.
good. I'm glad to hear it.
Alright.
Oh. Okay, we're gonna move on to the revenue report and the appropriation report.
Yes, and budget is kicking off heavy.
Bye, Julie.
I need to be building for budget, over the next 6 weeks or so to have a draft. So the next board meeting will probably be heavily focused on budget discussion. Like, that's another big thing that we need to do with the fair planning group is really dialing into what the budget's going to be. I know I have a lot of the information still about, what we pay for security and lights and traffic control and all that. I can plug those costs in and get a good idea, but then we need to figure out how much we want to spend on entertainment and other stuff too. You have any questions? Sorry, you today,
Do we know what our timber deduction's gonna be?
No one does.
Okay.
It could be everything, it could be nothing.
Glad to hear it.
Yeah, because I don't know where your tax, that's part of the problem is everyone's tax lot is in a different spot up there
Yeah.
in the woods. And so, like, I know Jewel School District's defunded, that one was a pretty easy deduction, but I don't know what other taxing districts are gonna be hit the hardest.
Yeah.
And the overlay that they've given us is not very, clear, so.
so we only budget 75 grand for timber revenue. mean, even if that got cut in half by 50, the money that we should be getting from the fair association or the state fair should make up for that at least in the next year.
Okay,
So we really are budgeting to think that we're really not getting anything. That's, I think, kind of where we were going towards, right?
I think it's like 30% reduction is the number. There was some initial conversations today at Exchange talking about budget. But we didn't get into the details of all of those parts yet. We're gonna do our budget training here over the next couple weeks and he said they sent out the budget calendar, but I don't recall seeing it, so I need to follow up with him on that.
I mean, to give an example, we were at 81 million board feet on average before the HCP. We're gonna be about 45 million board feet. So that's the deduction for Clatsop County. But then you look at the 30%, and that's an average across everything.
Yep.
And so some are gonna be hit super hard and some not.
Yeah.
And we only get that because we have the tax levy.
Yeah.
If we lose the levy, we lose the,
Which isn't that coming up?
it's 2025.
2025.
I think. I get confused because it's 5 years, but you know.
Yeah,
And you vote the year before, and so I figured it out before, and I said, oh, we have time.
so we probably should really think about using this year to using like showing what we do and what we're here
marketing.
for.
I think
And
it's really
marketing,
important,
very much so.
you know, even with the Scandinavian group, like in this wishing tree, like I don't think the wishing tree even puts any of our stuff on any of the stuff they do. They just, like, they need to be saying Fairgrounds did this for
Well,
us.
I almost think that we need to be in there taking photos and stuff too for our own marketing. I mean, that's
okay, let's talk about that at the good of the order.
Yeah.
It's
I'm
my
used-
job.
I'm used to it.
Stay on task.
You know, I think we're doing good on budget. I think having Kelly here is really helpful. Like, he doesn't want to spend a penny he doesn't have to spend.
That's good.
And so we're able to have him do a lot of things that we otherwise might have to hire, you know, a plumber or somebody to come in and do. And he can fix almost anything. So if something breaks, he tends to fix it instead of
That's
having
great.
to replace it.
Okay, is there any questions on the budget? No? What about you, financier?
Nope, I'm good.
Mallory? Has Mallory left the building? Do
No.
you have any questions on the budget? Okay.
No.
Okay, we're gonna move on to the rolling agenda.
Just kind of been plugging this in, maybe this should go in different spots, like it's in the agenda. Just putting it out there, I'd really like to get this popped up with a lot more,
Is this
Oh,
okay?
there's a hell.
Oh, it's a helicopter.
I was like, the first one, that just don't
with a lot
sound
more
right.
information in this, and I think as we get through these committees, we'll be able to plug this stuff in, and then have the dash sheet that we've been developing future years, we'll have a lot more stuff over here on our work sessions and business agenda. Couple of things that I made notes on were kind of talking about. So you've got your chair and vice chair appointment, but maybe a little discussion about the role of the board is and what we do. Talking about that a little, we need to talk about budget February, so that's gotta be.
One thing on the August 6th. We typically bump the fair board meeting 1 week out. Cause none of us have a brain on that first Tuesday.
In July 2nd. Don't we, we've done that in the past, we've moved it due to 4th of July, because of people being out of town. I don't know, but it's on a Tuesday, so it should be fine.
Tuesday and.
Yeah, it should be fine.
Thursday.
Yeah. So the August 6th meeting, we typically would move to the 13th. so that we can get some rest.
Yes.
Oh, yeah, please. Yeah, I just kind of plugged this crap fest in here on February 6th. I haven't had a discussion with them about coming out and talking to you all. I don't even know if we've really talked about their contract. They're barely to their banquet that's happening. So, they're figuring out friends over there. But, I'm imagining the same thing. Status quo, but we want to have a discussion about how we got.
I do
And if
appreciate
you guys
this.
have
This is
stuff
nice.
that you're thinking about, well, I would really like to meet with you guys go through them and have some of these discussions. Then the managers report would be much less involved during the meeting. I'd be talking to you about all the stuff that's going on to them. Then we'd also be talking about things that we want to make, afterwards. Bringing them to the board to discuss.
Do you think that we'll have, rate comparisons at the 6th of February?
Especially now, we've got a lot of committee work that we've got to do. One of the things we wanted to do, just this thing at some buildings, talk through here, kind of identify all of the things that we should have a debate on. We don't even really have a good list of that. For everything, stage. The key thing.
Has the inventory for the kitchen been done recently?
Not since
not
like grade, I think I did it when I started, I think this the day when I
Okay.
started. Or Andy did it. Yes. But it's been better. I think we haven't lost anything.
Okay.
There's not much in there.
No.
To take in. It's pretty
Yeah.
much plates, the Pepsi City. Really helps. If you have a need for anything more than that, when you come to your event, you're gonna have to bring stuff.
Yep.
And a lot of people bring bigger plates anyways, because they don't wanna deal with. The plates that happen.
Well, now you can get nice plates that you can throw in the.
I served Christmas Eve dinner on a good place, which my member.
Yeah, I'd like to see this have stuff in it.
Okay.
There's things that I think I am working on that I could put on here as tentative, I'm gonna. Dates.
Yeah.
Making my own deadlines. I work really well.
Okay.
I love deadlines. Very good. So if you have more, let me know. Okay.
Okay, and then, you added in this county committees and councils.
Yeah, so that was the packet that I gave you guys
We had this
last
last time,
meeting,
right?
and you had asked if you needed to sign that page. And I asked the question and they said, yes, if you could sign it. And I said, well, what about this question that says you'll, do the new member orientation? And the response was just have them sign it. We don't expect current members to do a new orientation. You guys have been on a board now for a year plus. But I think if they're gonna offer this stuff, we'll let you know. And if they have training that you guys want to attend, I think that'd be great.
And I read this and
Yeah,
then sign and
yeah.
scan to you, because I'm not really a
So-
signer before I read.
That's what I thought, and I gave you a second copy of the sign sheet that we could see the sheet that you, so you knew what you signed.
Yeah.
But if you wanted to bring those back next meeting or one of our
Oh, next
committee
week,
meetings or
yeah.
something.
Okay,
Okay,
perfect.
Courtney is not on the agenda, but do you have anything for us?
Tomorrow is the Board of Forestry meeting, tomorrow and what day is tomorrow? Wednesday? Wednesday and Thursday is the Board of Forestry meeting. They are currently, after the last special meeting that they had in December, it was heavily highlighted that there was a bit of an overcommitment on habitat acres. And granted, everything within that doesn't mean that it all equates to habitat, but there was an overabundance, otherwise known as we have met our habitat goals before we've even started. Amount of abundance, and that's not a normal situation. So we're currently in that discussion now. So the decision has been delayed even further. Even though we're already operating under the HCP, so. I have no news.
Okay, no news is,
Good news?
yeah,
So that's, what time is that tomorrow?
So testimony starts at 9:15. I think it starts at, I think they open the meeting at 9. I'd have to look.
I should be able to go to the website and.
Yes, and it's actually, if you're not testifying, I think that they'll be doing YouTube streaming like they
Oh,
did for the special
nice.
meeting. So you can get on the YouTube streaming and it's great.
Right.
okay, good of the order. Mallory, do you have anything for the good of the order?
I do not.
Brittany?
Couple things, just when we were just talking, and we said to discuss this, like with the Wishing Tree and Scandinavian Festival and any of those other things, it would be nice to have us, our information put out there. Or one of us out here maybe kind of putting it out on our Facebook page or publicizing that we're involved in
Yeah.
that. And also I really, with us having the floor down, I think we need to look at doing a small concert. Whether it's a locals band or,
Something like what the Liberty's got going on.
yeah, like you
No.
could get some of,
No liberties.
yeah. But something like that, there's no reason if we have that flooring down that we couldn't put in, if we have nothing coming in, 1 or 2 concerts to get people out here to get something going.
Yeah,
Where we could maybe
Might-
then do the similar thing, like the Friday night, we did a cover band, whatever, and then Saturday night, did a Hispanic.
That's,
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
what I was gonna-
that's a
might
great
be
idea.
Really good. Put the feelers
Like a
out.
soft touch
Yep.
to get in to see what people are wanting to see and hear.
yeah, that's a great idea.
Yeah, I think that we need to really look into that. I think so. Okay, we can talk about it on Tuesday, the 16th.
Maybe we can get that America's Talent girl, because she's not the winner.
The voice scale.
Yeah, she wasn't the winner, so maybe she will give us the time of day.
Jackie Rohr.
Yes,
I need to follow up with her agent. I had emailed him and he got right back and said, we're not gonna book anything until after the finale. And now there's been the finale. I'm sure he's got a huge list of people that
Better
have
be-
reached out at this
because
point.
she's from New Bern,
North Plains.
North Plains.
Cool.
But no, I
She
think
was
that's
the
something to
runner-up.
look into.
Pretty sure she played at the Labor Day concert last year at Fort Stevens.
Yeah, there was also that guy a couple years ago, Michelson Jackson or something like that.
Yeah, he's
People loved him.
he went to my alma mater.
He was the opening act for Midland.
Was it Midland? Or no, it was the one after Midland.
Which is a good point. We
Josh Turner.
We do need to dial in a
think it was Josh
opening
Turner.
act and it'll have to be approved by whichever band we end up booking.
Yeah. Anyways, he was very popular. People really liked him.
Mhm. That's all I have, is that we need to work on something like that.
Matt,
I don't really have a whole heck of a lot. I just looking forward to this next year. See what's going on. I think that I was kind of gonna do the same thing as not concert wise, but while that floor is down, man. See if we can start fishing and see what kind of events that we can hold while that thing's down and just. It's
Okay.
super expensive to get it down,
Right.
get it done in time consuming, so.
I think it's a good idea also for, if we're gonna ask for tax money,
Right.
to have some community things.
Mhm.
I have a good with the order with Ben.
Okay. Sarah?
I just really think that this next year is gonna be important, and I think that we need to market. And show what we do here, show who we host here, and show our community involvement. And like Brittany said, I'm not opposed to coming out to events and taking photos and stuff like that. And I know Callie isn't, and I know Brittany isn't, and if we can all fit it in our schedules and bounce it around, but I really think we need to show, like, seeing the numbers for the Wishing Tree, like I am a sucker for a good cause, and
Right.
the numbers were mind blowing to me. It makes me want to cry. And I know there's probably a lot of community members out there that would feel the same way, and I wish we could have probably maybe shared the experience more.
In real time, to be honest.
Yes, in real time, yeah. Yeah, exactly, so that's my good to order.
Have you ever volunteered for that?
I really cried the whole time.
It's pretty cool to be out here when they're
Yeah.
setting up presents and getting
Oh, I
stuff, because I've helped do that and helped tear down and stuff. It's a neat thing.
So one thing to keep in mind about the wishing tree is it's only Warrenton, or it's only us, right, Napa.
Mhm,
Warrenton does their own,
Yes.
Seaside does their own, and the Baker store does Jewel.
mhm.
I wonder what the
There's a lot.
total county numbers are.
Yeah,
That would be cool to gather too, even if though we're not hosting all of it, but as a community whole, that's cool.
yeah. Anything else?
I'm good.
Okay, I have a list.
Oh,
Not Kelly.
For like the chamber banquet and the natural resources dinner, is the Fair Board having a table?
I don't know the answer to that. I mean, the chamber, we're members of the chamber, but it's $50 a plate
I
to.
just am wondering if we need to start participating
We
in some
do.
stuff like that, so people see who we are
yep.
You know,
and that we're,
that.
I think the natural resource dinner is a really big and important one.
It's huge.
yeah,
Yeah.
we'll be here for that anyways, but
Yeah, it's 450 a table and $50 a plate.
Mhm.
I think we need to consider attending some of those, even if we can't all, if
Well,
some of
I
us
would
could come.
think that maybe the resource dinner, that could be part of
Our package.
our pack, like we gave them the whole property for free.
Yeah,
Um,
We've had it in the past.
Yeah,
We've had a table at that.
oh, we have,
Yeah,
okay.
the very first one.
But maybe it's a good idea to like attend to the chamber banquet and,
Yeah.
things
Yeah.
like that also.
You said we're
Ah.
members of the chamber, we want to purchase tables.
Tickets are on sale now, and tables are for sale now.
Yeah,
The chamber.
we should do it.
we should do it. I
Let's
think.
do it.
I think,
Okay, we'll reach out to them and see what they want from us.
okay.
And then I'll back out to you guys for head counts.
Okay, perfect.
I'm wondering about the horse stalls. What was ever decided about? Are we taking them out of barn C for the turkeys?
So that's a 4-H discussion still, I think, but as they decide what they do where, but, I think that's where we were suggesting they go, and I think they'd be open to that if we were to tear them out. I've worked with Pat on some options for new stalls, but we need to make a decision. That's really where we're at. We just need to get the horse group together, I think probably is. And tell them these are the options we've looked at. Are we good with portable stalls, tearing those out and putting portable stalls in?
Do you have, I think, yes.
Yes.
I think it definitely needs to happen because the stalls are horrible in there, but we need to get price quotes and seeing where they're at, because then you have also Friends of the Fair coming in. So are those portable stalls only gonna be in during fair time, or are you gonna have them in all the time, or, cause then if
They would
say,
be out during the fair.
but for barn A and B,
Horse barn.
for the horse barns, we would, I mean, I'm not,
Yeah.
we maybe have 10
Well, that's separate than my turkey thing, but like for A and B, we talked about doing at least some different stalls.
So I think we definitely need to put that in maybe a work session.
Yeah, prices and information.
And
So that
maybe
we can get the
inviting
horse.
some of those groups in, cause
Yeah.
I mean, I
Yep.
don't know
Yeah.
anything about. You got a great idea on horses, but that's been one of my concerns about doing anything with those stalls is that we put something in and then everybody be like, you bought the wrong things.
Yeah, so maybe invite,
We need Friends of the Fair, we need 4-H, and we need, OET.
Yep.
OET,
OET.
yeah.
What about FFA?
Please make sure that they know that it's a discussion. that
FFA.
we're Not,
They don't make the decision.
no,
We want the
not
input.
like, they don't need to be angry at us.
No, we just were.
We
trying to
just-
see
we
what's
just want to
best.
figure out what's gonna work for
We're
us.
What's
just trying
gonna
to
be
figure out
best?
what's best.
And what is safest for the horses, and I think Mallory will, I mean, she's very involved in the horse community too.
Yeah.
I could ask some of my OSET kids to come as well, because everybody that comes to that open show,
Yeah. And, we received donations that are sitting there waiting for us to do, but those donations aren't enough to do everything.
Yeah,
Yeah.
So it's more than just what they committed to.
I guess we just need to find out how much the total cost would be for us to, so in order to do that, we need a plan.
Yeah.
yeah.
So,
I have some quotes from Pat, and he follows up with me every 6 weeks or so.
Okay.
He was suggesting like standalone like they could be set up outside or wherever with
Yeah.
the roof and everything. Some of those old photos that we found, they actually had a whole nother row of portable stalls or something next to.
Well, that's when the
Okay.
horses used to be like 50 some at fair and now there's 6.
Yeah, that's different.
Yeah.
I just have 2 more things. Have we ever decided who, what, when, or where about the tent that we got, the big tent
Oh.
from Seaside?
We have not. That's where, I think as we're doing strategic plan, do we want to invest putting it up until we've decided what this place looks like? Like, do we end up tearing down all of those barns and building a bigger building but then we went and built this tent where we.
And it's gonna be
could do it?
expensive to get it set up.
It is. This
Okay.
is gonna be a big investment, and then we're gonna have to do the planning, because this whole side of the road is a geologic zone, so we'll have to get a geo survey. We won't be able to just put it up, go get a permit over the counter and put it up. We'll have to have a whole planning package.
Okay. And then my last thing kind of piggybacks on everyone else about social media. I know it seems silly, but like when you get your CPR certification, you should post a picture of it.
That's cool.
I know
No,
that
it
it seems
is.
silly,
People eat
but
that stuff
people are
up.
like, it just keeps us in the feed, and I'm happy to come out and kind of show you an easy way.
Yeah.
Like you can't have 1,000 words.
Right.
That's
You
short.
have, it has to be short. Hashtags matter,
Hashtags.
pictures first, kind of thing, and I'm happy to come out and show you.
Yeah, and definitely, it'd be great to have content every, 2 or 3 days, having something.
Yeah, and it's even the small stuff.
They eat it up.
Pulling
They eat
out
it
the
up,
old
yeah.
pictures that we pulled out from 1995.
So, like, On
Yeah.
Thursday,
Throwback Thursday.
you could do a throwback
Right.
Thursday
Yeah.
of when we had 50 horses or something, or,
When the guy hit the roof with the monster truck.
yeah.
Yeah.
People are gonna, okay, be prepared for things like that though, because then they're like, you didn't have the monster trucks anymore.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's
Right.
one thing, I took a business class at Clatsop a couple years ago, and one thing they said, like, for my business, you need to post every single day for you to get your stuff out there, like, it's every day, and you need to go in and look at all the time that people look at your
Mhm.
site and everything, and it's gonna help build your business if you do it every single day and you're consistent. The minute you start going off,
Yep.
not,
drops
it
so
drops.
Which is why I do it so much, like leading up to fair, and
But if we were to post
we can
something
do a live
every
video
day,
together.
Right,
What?
Yeah. every
Yeah.
day.
Or a TikTok dance.
Yeah,
So I think the whole marketing media plan is something that in our strategic plan that we're
yeah.
gotta work heavy on.
but it would be good to post something every day.
And
And
it
you
may
can-
be
Leading up to
even
fair.
valuable to budget to have a consultant that helps us with that, because the return on investment's there.
Yeah,
If you
Oh,
have
yeah.
somebody
Yeah.
that you're paying to do it, if it draws in more business, it's worth it.
yep.
Mhm.
Good thing, did you see that Astorian, their front page was photos of 2023 and there was a mutton busting photo from.
Oh, there
from-
was? Oh,
So that would be a good one to do. and
Yeah, we should share.
circle and-
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yep.
That's fun.
See, that's
See?
exactly it.
Very much so.
Yeah.
And there's.
And just,
And there's stuff you can do, which Kelly probably knows, that you can set it up where it will post.
Oh, yeah.
You don't, like,
Yeah,
you
you
can
can
set it
do it
up
on a
for a
daily.
couple weeks and you don't have to, you're done. Just go spend an hour of like, this is what I want, hit done, and then it will
Yeah.
share it and you're,
ChatGPT is amazing.
yeah, and then you don't have to deal with it. It's great.
Yeah, it's
So-
pretty awesome. Cause Meta, if you do it through the Meta app too, it'll post on both Instagram and
And
Facebook.
Facebook.
did
Mhm.
we forget in our Instagram?
No, I've been struggling. I'll work on it once every 2 months and get frustrated.
I think Colleen started it. Maybe call
I
Colleen.
talked to her and she didn't.
Oh.
I asked her.
Start a different one.
I was
Yeah.
gonna say,
We're
you
to
can
the
connect
point
a
where-
different one.
I think you start a new one.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And you
It's-
and you can
it's
put a post
unfortunate
on
'cause we
there
have a lot of.
and put it as the highlight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That
yeah,
this is
Now
our
on
new one,
Insta.
not the old one.
yeah. Courtney Banks?
Just on a side note of marketing and social media, you guys can start doing press releases. I'm sure if you gave the information, PJ would work with staff to get press releases out for you guys for those things that you're talking about, the fundraising and all of the stuff.
Yeah.
Kind of see if I can look, we did it, yay,
I love
Yeah.
don't
that.
forget about us, yay.
Yeah,
But yeah, press releases for after the natural resources dinner, maybe within the contract, if you guys are providing a free space for people, that it's part of their marketing also, when they do write an
Yeah.
article with the Astorian, that they do a mention of the donation at the
Definitely.
fairgrounds.
That's a great
Yeah.
idea.
That
I think so.
acknowledgement piece is important.
The
Every-
acknowledgement piece,
The
yes.
pieces when we're getting sponsored, like TLC wanted, in our application, they wanted to know very clearly what they were getting to acknowledge it, which that's not, I don't think that's really a way that we've looked at it when people have come to ask. It's, they just are looking for space and they say we can't afford it or whatever. And we need to be looking at like, we're providing you a sponsorship.
Yeah.
That's what's
Well,
happening here.
And
A
like with,
donation.
with the tickets for the Natural Resources Dinner, Oregon Women in Timber is doing it, and the Clatsop Community, Watersheds is doing it. But at some point, you could request to have your symbol, emblem, whatever, on that
It should
ticket
be.
also.
Yeah.
Because you are also donating to the whole the cause, I guess.
Yeah.
Well,
So-
I think that as we, like every month, I think we're just getting more and more of a foundation.
Yeah.
And we're not making decision in a reactionary way, that we actually have some forethought and like where we're headed. I think it's gonna be helpful.
And we're building a lot of stuff from scratch. Like, there's things right now we're spending a lot of time on that the next time we do it, it's gonna be easy.
Yeah,
Like, if people are in asking a question and I don't have the answer to it, because I have to do some research, where once I get this rate stuff and all of these things sorted out, and it's like, yes, it's available. Yes, this is how much it is.
yeah,
Booked, done, moving on.
And everything in the short session that applies to fairgrounds, somebody should show up and public speak. And I don't know if there's gonna be anything in the short session. I haven't looked at the bill list yet, but if there is anything, a short and long session,
can
somebody
you send us
should-
that info?
It's gonna get sent to him,
Yeah,
Okay,
because I think,
it's OFA that does the heavy lifting on it.
Yeah.
okay,
We have a lobbyist through OFA that.
so it'll get sent to him, and then if something applies, you guys should show up and put in your 2 cents, because what I'm finding in my short experience is the more local voice, the more attention. That's how we got attention for the study for the Napa intersection, where they reduced our speeds, is
Yep.
because of us getting with Senator Weber, who got with ODOT, and we all kicked them in the shins
Right.
It
together.
was very loud on social media.
It was very loud.
Um,
That's
Made
very
a bunch
loud.
of contacts in Redmond too.
Yeah, that was.
I can't remember that gentleman's name, but it was a senator, state senator.
Wyatt.
Kevin, it sounds close.
And you guys should contemplate in May, hosting, I don't know. They always do, before May, they always do a candidate interview session. Community college will do one, but you guys might consider doing one also, because.
oh yeah,
not
that's a great
everybody-
idea.
Mhm.
And I think if you did it like, so election primaries are in May. If you did it in maybe the end of March or something, if you had an open time slot, and just did a candidate
What is
Q&A.
that called?
Q&A,
Q&A.
yeah,
Like a town hall.
Yeah.
like a town
Yeah.
hall, and invite all your candidates to come. You could even invite some state, I don't know what elections are happening beyond our local level and beyond
That's a
our,
fantastic idea.
but to get people out, you could do, popcorn and like Coke or whatever, if you wanted to have a concession open for it.
Yeah.
But it's just a thought, because that's coming up also,
It is.
Good idea.
That's a really good idea.
and not everyone can make community college.
Yeah. Okay, anything else to add, Mallory?
Nothing here.
Good.
I would just again remind, that email I sent on Friday, that the county scheduled that ethics class on February 25th.
Oh,
I know I said I was gonna send the calendar invite and I didn't do that, but I wrote a note here to remember, so I will send that to you.
What
so you
time
have
was
on
it?
your calendar.
February 25th at what time?
Isn't it 5? Isn't that our work session?
Yeah.
Because we're doing it too. So,
So about 20 minutes.
Sunday.
It's a Sunday?
No, then that's the wrong date.
wrong day. It should be a Wednesday night.
February
look at mine.
21 or 28?
21 or
I
28.
thought I printed it off here and,
Oh, she said February.
Yeah.
First,
I didn't
22nd.
have it. So I'll have to find it again. I'll send you a calendar invite. So. Suppose I could do that as soon as this meeting's over.
I'm looking.
No. I have too many emails.
It would be either the 14th or the 28th would be my guess.
The 28th.
20th of February.
Maybe the other thing I'd add is while
That's
like I'm not stressing it right now, there are occasional times where I'm having moments of like, oh crap, we gotta get this show rolling.
It'll come together.
I know it's gonna come together. We're in a lot better spot than we were last year, but the next.
We're in the
6
history of the world.
6 to
Yeah,
8
way
weeks
better.
are very important to hit the ground pretty good here.
Okay, do we have to go to the county or is this a Zoom call?
I think
I mean, they give us food, so.
it's later for you to be there. If you absolutely can't make it, I think there's a Zoom option, but
There's always a Zoom option.
Okay. Got it on my calendar. Okay, meeting adjourned.
and then next Wednesday is the meeting where they're appointing the 2 members.
Shoot.
What time is that?